What is up, everyone? Today I do a little bit of a recap of the video I did last week with my buddy Stuart and tell you my 3 top takeaways from going to online college. About a week ago I had my buddy Stuart on. If you haven't watched that video, go back, watch that video, and then come watch this video. We went over his experiences with being homeschooled through elementary and high school, and then also he did a very fast 2-year program through something called College Plus. That was how he got his college degree. I wanted to do a follow-up video to that talking about my experience with online education, kind of my top 3 takeaways that I had, and one of the biggest reasons that I enjoyed going to college online. So in any case, just kind of as a very brief recap of all of that, I was homeschooled all the way through elementary school, briefly had a quick like 6-month period of time where just for fun, my family moved to Mexico. We were living in Texas at the time. I went to a private school there, and that was fun and crazy and very challenging all at once, but that was really my only exposure to a public or private school scenario. I think that was probably one of the more structured, probably some of the most structure that I had. But in any case, the way that my parents did homeschooling was we had several tutors or co-ops or different organizations that they would actually send us to that were outside the house. So it wasn't completely just me sitting in a room, at home working through a workbook or my parents teaching me the whole time. It was more of a collaborative effort from a number of different people and a number of different sources. So that was really cool, very creative again, kind of thinking outside the box like I mentioned in the video with Stuart and like we were talking about there. But jumping ahead to college, I was a terrible student, like just terrible. And I think that started in college, kind of senior year of high school, college. I was very social, I went to party and hang out, and I was more interested in the relationships that I was making in the classroom rather than the material. The other thing that really bugged me was the duration of the semester. I mean, I just could not focus over the entire duration of the semester, all the different months and kind of the slow release of information that we would have. And so I would lose focus. And, that's not necessarily a good trait, but that's kind of how I learned. And so it was very tough for me to get through the semester, and so I would end up dropping out of the class, or I would end up bombing tests. Not a good test taker as well. And so my whole entire college career at the junior college, which is where I started, was not good. I was actually exposed to Colorado State University through my dad, who was doing a master's program through them. And that year they had opened up for selected majors. They were opening up a undergraduate program, and so that I signed up for that. I got in, even with my terribly low grades, and I really saw a huge change in my grades. I didn't have to go to class anymore. I just had to log on to my laptop. At the time, I just had my first son. I was working a few jobs, so the flexibility of the online platform was huge because I could schedule my school around my life instead of the other way around. And so that was a huge thing for me. The social component, I kind of already had built in with work and with my social life that I had. So the school and social realm didn't really get mixed, and it didn't really need to be honest. But one of the biggest things, and kind of going with the 3 things that I want to talk about with online education is, of course, the flexibility, and that's what we were talking about right here, the flexibility of being able to schedule your life, schedule the school around your life rather than the other way around. And that gives you the freedom to do a lot of extra stuff and basically get things done a lot faster than I think you would be able to normally in a current school system. The second thing, and we talked about this briefly in the video with Stuart, but the other thing that was really huge was being able to get creative with how I financed it. So basically I was able, instead of taking all my classes online, I was able to CLEP test through some of them. And if anyone who's watching this video does not know about CLEP testing, I highly recommend you go to the College Board website, check out CLEP tests. You can actually fast forward through courses just by taking the test. So if you feel like you've already taken AP courses in high school, or maybe you really feel like you have a proficiency in an area, whether that's Spanish, English Lit, humanities, whatever, they have a number of different tests you can take the test and the test counts towards college credits. So I was actually in one semester, I was able to take like 16 units and actually 12 of those units were CLEP test units. So I took a few CLEP tests. I prepared for them. It took me about a few weeks to prepare for them. I got a book, prep book, and prepared, sat for the test. But that saved me so much time. And they're really cheap too. I think the tests are like $60. So really, really cheap. Helped me to fast forward that and helped me kind of to make up for some of that lost time that I spent failing and dropping out of classes. So that's the second thing. The third thing was because I was forced in these fast-paced classes to quickly assimilate the information, read and quickly find out what the topic was about, how to quickly solve and quickly create an answer or write a paper or whatever, and I had to assimilate the information very, very quickly, master it for a test and spit it out. Again, we're talking an 8-week period for an entire full course. I think it taught me something very valuable that I transferred over to the business world, which is, when you don't know something, you just go find out how to do it. You don't, you don't have the luxury of it taking a lot of time. You don't have the luxury of kind of talking to a bunch of people about it and thinking about how you're gonna do it. You just have to figure it out. And so you'd go to Google, you type in the question, you'd find someone very, very quickly. But again, with the online schooling, it had to be done quick because the discussion board was due, the test was due, the paper was due. So you had to become proficient very, very quickly. And again, in business, whether it's an accounting system or whether it's even creating these YouTube videos or whether it's starting the company as a whole and trying to figure out, what are we gonna do for marketing and what are we gonna do for sales and how are we gonna best solve a problem that's happening. You just have to quickly assimilate it, quickly figure out the problem or what you need to know, and then quickly get the answer. And that pressure, I think, was very, very good practice for the real world when I had that similar scenario in the business. And that's been something that's enabled us to grow very quickly in the last couple of years that we've had the company. So in any case, those are my top 3 takeaways. I kind of wanted to do a little bit of a recap. I am going to be filming a few more videos here and starting a little bit of a skills series, if you will, about interpersonal skills, interpersonal communication skills, stuff that I feel like is really important and really lacking. And I've got a great base of experience with hiring a bunch of staff that we have at the company right now, and then also just having trained so many staff in my past jobs. Really excited to share those with you. They're going to be coming up, so make sure you're subscribed. I've included links below to all the good stuff, all the social media profiles, so make sure you're following me there. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to go out and sweat in this 80-degree December weather in Southern California. So hope you guys have a Merry Christmas, happy holiday season to everyone, and we'll talk soon.